All right, so today we're diving into the really fascinating world of trading psychology.
Okay.
And you know what? We're going to be unlocking mental fortitude for peak trading performance.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this isn't just about thinking happy thoughts.
Yeah.
This is, we're going deep
Yeah. Yeah.
with insights from this Cascade PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, so get ready to brush up on your Hebrew.
Right.
But what's really jumping out at you from this material?
It's interesting because they really get into this idea of the mental battleground that traders face, and that it's not just about, being good with numbers
Yeah.
or understanding, the technical aspects of it, but it's really this emotional,
Right.
pressure cooker that you're in.
You're exactly right. It's like every trade comes with this invisible weight of stress and fear
Yeah,
and even performance anxiety.
absolutely.
And this material doesn't shy away from that. It really tackles it head on.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I thought was really interesting is they highlight this story of this trader
Okay.
who had something like 500 losses.
Oh, wow.
And imagine that
Oh,
emotional
my gosh. I can't even imagine.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
But they were able to turn things around.
Okay, so what was the secret?
Well,
What'd they do? Did they go live in a cave and meditate for 5 hours a day? What was the...
I don't know if it gives us their life story, but it talks about how this person and many others
Okay.
utilized mental resilience techniques.
Mhm.
So it's like building up your mental muscles to be able to withstand these swings and avoid those emotional pitfalls.
So we're not talking about like fleeting motivation. We're
Mhm.
talking about tools and techniques
Yes.
that you can actually use and implement.
Yeah, and it's not about like this huge overnight transformation,
Right.
right? It's this gradual process
Yeah.
of, getting better and more calm and more adaptable.
Okay, so that's actually good news, right? Because you don't have to be like a Zen master on day one.
Yeah.
It's about building those mental muscles over time.
Exactly.
This isn't just about slapping on a happy face and, chanting affirmations.
No.
This is about really equipping yourself.
It's about facing those challenges head on,
Yeah.
but having the tools
Give us the rundown.
to be able to do so.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's about identifying those mental roadblocks
Okay.
that are preventing you from reaching your potential as a trader.
Okay.
And one of the things I thought was really interesting is they actually had this series of self-assessment questions,
I like that.
which I thought was really interesting to
Yeah.
kind of figure out
Kind of call yourself out a little bit.
where you're at.
Yeah, like where do I need to improve? What are some of the signs that I might benefit from this type of mental training?
Yeah, so they actually go through 5 signs of potential mental blocks,
Okay.
which I think are really interesting.
Hit us with number one.
And these could apply to anybody, really, but especially in trading.
Right.
So the first one is perfectionism. Oh, tell me about it.
And how that can actually be detrimental
Yeah.
to your trading.
Right,
Because, striving for excellence is one thing.
right.
But if you have these completely unrealistic expectations of yourself and you're so afraid to make a mistake that you're going to not doing anything at all.
Right. Or you overanalyze it.
Or you overanalyze it, you miss the opportunity,
Yeah.
and then the self-criticism starts to come
Oh,
in.
no, really.
And it just kind of steamrolls from there.
Yeah, it's like you're so afraid of making the wrong move, you don't make any move, and then you've missed the boat completely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the perfectionism leads to procrastination,
totally.
missed opportunities, brain out, all of that.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. And, it's not even just about like the perfectionism in terms of like individual trades,
Yeah.
but it's like you're so worried about what other people are going to think
Uh-huh.
and how you're going to be judged
Oh, yeah.
if you don't make the perfect call. Oh, it's like you're carrying the weight of everyone's expectations on your shoulders,
Exact.
on top of like the already existing pressure of trading.
Yeah, and that's where you start to see the insecurity.
Okay, so talk to me about the insecurity piece of this.
So let's say you've done all this research.
Okay.
You found what you think is a really great opportunity,
Yeah.
but then that little voice in the back of your head is like,
Right.
but are you sure?
Like, what if you're wrong?
What if you're wrong and then you hesitate and you miss the opportunity?
Ouch.
And that just feeds that cycle of self-doubt.
Right. Like you're your own worst enemy in those situations.
Absolutely. And the thing is...
And the material even talks about how this can happen.
Yeah,
Even when someone has the technical skills down pat.
totally. And sometimes that insecurity comes from having these totally unrealistic expectations,
Oh, yeah.
which is the 4th one.
Social media is not helping with this.
No.
Everyone's like, I made $1 million trading last week. And you're like, wait a minute.
And they're driving Lambos.
I'm doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think this is where it's so easy to fall into that trap of comparison.
Yes.
You're comparing, like chapter 1 of your trading journey to someone else's like chapter 20.
Exactly.
And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Slow your roll.
Yeah, this takes time. It takes patience.
You have to play the long game.
Yeah.
You can't expect to get rich quick.
And then, even when you have the long game in mind, you have those moments where you're really under pressure.
Oh, I bet.
And that's the 5th one.
Okay.
Crumbling under pressure.
So what happens then?
So the material gives this example of all these traders who can do really well in like simulated environments.
Yeah.
When they're not trading real money.
Right.
Their strategies are perfect, their timing's perfect, everything's great.
Uh-huh.
But the second you put them in a live trading environment,
right, where the stakes are real,
they freeze up.
It's like stage fright.
Yes!
You've rehearsed the song a million times,
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
but then you get in front of the audience,
Yeah, and you're like,
and your mind goes blank.
it all goes out the window.
Yeah.
And so it really just goes to show you that you can have all the technical knowledge in the world,
Right.
but if you don't have the mental game,
You're not going to succeed.
it's like having a high-performance race car,
Okay.
but not knowing how to drive.
It's like having all the fancy equipment, but not knowing how to use it.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think trips a lot of people up because they think, oh, well, I need to learn the technical stuff first.
Right.
And then once I'm like, a master of the technical analysis, then I can start working on the mental game.
Right. It's like
doesn't really work like that.
It's like building a house starting with the roof.
You got to have that foundation.
Yeah.
You can't just like plop the roof on and hope for the best.
Exactly. And this material really dismantles that myth of, technique first, mindset later.
It's like saying, I'll start training for the marathon once I've already run 20 miles.
Right.
It's like, no, you need that mental stamina from the get-go.
Yeah. You need those mental muscles.
Which I think leads us to another really important point, and that is the stigma that sometimes surrounds mental coaching.
Yes.
It's like people think, oh, I don't need a mental coach, like I'm not weak.
Right.
But the source makes a really great analogy, I thought.
Okay.
They compare seeking mental coaching to servicing your car.
Uh-huh.
Most people wouldn't wait until their car, completely breaks down.
Right.
To take it to the mechanic.
You'd be stranded.
Right? You'd be on the side of the road like, oh, shoot, I should have gotten an oil change.
Exactly. It's all about preventative maintenance.
Right.
It's the same thing with your mind.
Yeah, it's not about fixing something that's broken. It's about optimizing what's already there.
Exactly.
And getting that extra edge. And, in trading, like we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Having that mental edge can make all the difference.
It's your secret weapon?
It is. It's like your secret weapon.
But it's not really a secret.
It's true, because everybody has access to it.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of, are you willing to put in the work?
And are you willing to admit that maybe you need a little help?
Right, exactly.
Now, sometimes we all need a little help.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love how this material really encourages traders to think about mental training as an ongoing practice.
Yes.
It's not just like a one-and-done thing.
It's not a one-time thing.
It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You got to keep exercising those mental muscles.
It's a lifestyle.
It is. It's a lifestyle. Yeah, it's a trading lifestyle, which is funny to say.
There you go.
But, it's so easy to get caught up in all the technical aspects of trading, right?
Well,
looking at the charts and the numbers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this deep dive has really, I think, driven home the point
Absolutely.
that mastering your mindset is just as important,
It's essential.
if not more so,
It is.
than mastering any technical indicator.
Yeah.
So, expert speaker for our listener today, what's the one thing you hope they take away from this deep dive?
I think the biggest takeaway is that recognizing the psychological side of trading is not a weakness. It's actually a sign of strength.
That's a great point.
And, being able to acknowledge that and address it is only going to make you a better trader.
Absolutely.
So as you continue on in your trading journey, don't neglect the mental game.
It's the most valuable investment you can make.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, the greatest traders aren't ruled by their emotions.
They've mastered them.
They've mastered them. Mic drop.
Mic drop, exactly.